What's going on, everyone? Scott here from the Breakevens, giving you the very first episode officially of AFL Supercoach 2025 pre-season. It's an exciting time. It is a stressful time because I don't know if any of you watching saw my tweet on X or the post on Facebook, but as of recording, this is Tuesday, the 7th of January, and this video will be going up on the Wednesday, the 8th. There is 64 days until round one. 64 days. And I have 67 videos that I need to record. I need to do research. I need to edit, and I need to upload. It's going to be insane. The grind is real. So we're going to start off. All right. We have team previews going first. So what that is, we will go through each team in their own separate video in alphabetical order, starting at Adelaide and going to the Western Bulldogs. All team previews will be going through the players that each team got in, the players that left, the preseason news as of the end of December. Now, and we'll also go through the super coach selection. So the people who I think are primo options, people who I think are the mid-price or the value options, and the rookies. And then we will also be going through the fixtures and the buys. So there's a lot in stall. So if you want to keep up with all super coach content, make sure you follow me on X at Breakevens Pod, on Facebook, the Breakevens, and of course here on YouTube, the Breakevens. So we've got team previews. We have player profiles that I'm starting to research. I think it's 45 to 48 players that I'm looking to do some player profiles on. Going to have updated preseason news. So every month, this one being, the team ones from December. Obviously, they've had the Christmas break. So in Feb, we'll have an updated preseason news, and the start of March, we'll have one as well just before we get into round one and maybe around where those preseason games are. So there's a lot. And obviously I will do updated team reveals. So a lot to get through, but make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on X at Breakevens Pod, Facebook, the Breakevens, and here on YouTube, because I'm putting a lot of time in to my already busy schedule. So it's going to be absolutely crazy. Lastly, before we get into the first team, which is Adelaide, that does mean all my FPL content, video-wise, it's a bit out the window because I am a super coach. I guess you could say content creator, or I just do super coach videos. So that's what I'm going to focus on mainly. So all FPL videos, probably on the back burner for now. I apologize if you did like those, but we're here for Supercoach. Let's get into the first team, which is Adelaide. So Adelaide finished 15th. Also, quickly, by the way, I've got my notes here. So if you see me look to the side here and there, it is just because I'm looking at my notes. So they finished 15th in 2024. They've got a few players in, so they might be looking to jump up at the ladder this year. So their ins, there was a trade with GWS for Isaac to come in. It's a little play on words there. Should help with their defense, you would think. They took Sid Draper at pick 4. Alex Neil-Bullen came over from the D's. James Peatling came over from GWS. and Tyler Welsh was pick 59, father son. So um, Cumming and Peatling moving over from GWS just for one, a fresh start, and two, some more playing time, some more consistent playing time. Neil Bullen is a funny one, but he should boost their squad. And Sid Draper is looking good. Not sure about Tyler Welsh. Don't know a whole bunch there. They're outs. So Lockie Golland was delisted. Will Hamill also delisted. Elliot Himmelberg was a free agent trade. Well, he was a free agent and he went to Gold Coast. Ned McHenry delisted. Patrick Parnell delisted. And Rory Sloane has retired. So they haven't really lost a lot. Golland, Hamill, McHenry, I guess you could say Himmelberg were all fringe players anyway. Parnell got a few games, and Rory Sloane just wasn't himself towards the end of all the injuries. Um, so yeah, it looks like they had a good trade period and did well in the draft. So yeah, they've definitely bolstered their squad. So the preseason news, and don't forget, this is as of the end of December 2024. Dan Curtin has bulked up and is looking strong off the halfback. There are talks of him going possibly into the midfield and getting some minutes there as well. But he's looking strong. If he can stay fit, he'll just slot straight back into that side. James Peatling has been the standout so far in the Crows midfield and has been showing his bull-esque defensive presence. So I think there was a video of him doing a massive tackle. Unless that was Sid Draper, it was one of them. I always get them mixed up. But James Peatling is looking good. Sid Draper, who I just named, lots of teammates giving him praise. He looks composed under pressure, and he's really pushing for a debut. So if you've watched any other Supercoach content, he's in a lot of sides for that reason. Kieran Strawn has a foot injury, and there is no time frame for him. And Isaac Cumming did a hamstring before Christmas. But word is, if he's not back training straight away, it's only a 1 or 2 weeks away. So, lot of good Supercoach options there to take out of that. And I think some very relevant players as well that people are just keeping an eye on because a few cheap enablers there. So, all right, let's go to the Supercoach selection. So we'll start with the Primos. So we have Matt Crouch at 568k as a midfielder. I think he's a pass. Yes, he's an accumulator. He gets plenty of the ball, but he hand passes half a meter away. I don't think he's an option. Rory Laird at 561k as a midfielder. Potential role change with Peatling coming in, looking to get possibly Isaac Rankin some mid time, some more mid time. Does Rory Laird go back onto the halfback? If he does, we know he can score well there. The only difference is now is if Isaac Cumming is playing, what really is Laird's role? Because Cumming at GWS is a great kick, usually takes kick-outs, and that's what Rory Laird did pre-midfield time. So I don't know. Rory Laird is one to keep an eye on. If Cumming is injured and it looks like he might be out for a few weeks, I think Laird could be a good start if he is playing that half-back role. But for now, just keep an eye. We've got Jordan Dawson at 550k as a mid. This is a value selection. If we get James Peatling playing that defensive midfield role that we're expecting him to potentially have, this could open up for Jordan Dawson, 550k. He didn't play poorly last year. He actually had a pretty solid year numbers wise. What let him down was his kicking, and that's crazy because Jordan Dawson is an unbelievable kick. But as it is with midfielders that usually play the halfback, come into the midfield, it's a lot faster. You don't have as much time to think. So these quick kicks were just getting um, intercepted, and teams were sort of clocking on that. Hang on, Jordan Dawson is their best kick. So if they're really looking to attack, they might try and look indoor. Dawson, the only player on the team who can kick indoor. So what teams were doing? All right, Dawson's got the ball. Let's flood the mid, the center of the ground. He tried to do that kick, easy intercept. So his disposal efficiency was down. If he fixes that this year, he's had a year as a full time mid, working on his craft. If he does that, he's actually a value selection. It could be someone around 620 to 650k, averaging 110 to I'd probably say 118. Realistically, more 115. But definitely someone to keep an eye on. Probably won't pick him up at the start. Might be someone who I look to at his buy potentially. But we shall see. Isaac Rankin is next with a 521k forward. He did really well last year when he had those bursts of speed in the midfield. They're looking to play him mid as well this season. Does he get more mid time? You've got Peatling who's come in. Now you've got Cumming who can play through the midfield as well. You got Curtin who's looking good, who can roll through the midfield with that stronger body. You got Sid Draper, who's the explosive, speedy bull out now. Where like Dawson, Laird, Crouch that we've already spoken about. Where's Rankin getting these extra mid minutes? It's a tough one. It's definitely one I'm going to wait and see. I'm not looking to start him. The only reason I would start him is if Horn Francis got injured, basically. So keep an eye, check his mid minutes, watch the preseason games, and then make your decision from there. Now we'll move to the mid price and the value selections, and it's the two GWS boys. So we'll start with James Peatling at 352k as a mid. An absolute watch to see how much mid time he actually gets. He's quite serviceable off the halfback, but again, you got Cumming and potentially Laird there. So Brodie Smith is still down there doing whatever he thinks he can do. So is Peatling going to be that defensive mid guy? How much time in there is he going to get? We know he can score well when he gets mid time, and I'll go through that when I go through his player profile. But he has scored very well. We're talking 95 to 100 on certain runs when he's played full mid. So 352k, if he can get anywhere near that 95 average, he's going to make you 100, 150k. So he'd be an absolute great selection. But wait and see what his role is, what his output is, and how Adelaide is setting up. Isaac Cumming at 287k as a mid only. Does he play mid? Does he play that halfback role, that distributor role? I think there's going to be plenty of opportunity for the Adelaide defense to score well, and if he's taking kickouts, then he's going to get a big boost. This is someone who has averaged, I think his highest is 94. Don't quote me. I haven't looked it up yet. Again, it'll go through the player profile. but he has averaged in the 90s a couple times before in that halfback distributor role. So keep an eye on there. The only knock on him is he's injury prone. As I said earlier, he's already done a small hamstring. So just keep an eye. Hopefully he's fit at 287K. If Peatling can make 150, 200, come in is more 200 to 250, I feel. So watch on those two ex-GWS boys. Let's move to the rookies. You got Charlie Edwards, 119K defender mid. News so far is that he's impressing. Again, someone else who's looking to get mid time. Is he best 22? At the moment, I'd probably say he's not best 22. He's more that fringe player, could be a sub risk. So more than likely, if he's named, you'd think he'd start as the sub and then get subbed on. So just someone to keep an eye on. But Charlie Edwards at 119K, if we can, lock in a rookie around that price would be quite helpful. But I'm not quite sure on him, to be honest. Next is Sid Draper at 190K midfielder. Is he going to play mid or halfback? This should just be the midfield or halfback video. He's an absolute bull. He's big bodied. He's fast. He likes to tackle. He's looking composed at the moment. Teammates are quite happy with how he's going. Is he best 22? Nothing is set in stone, but at the moment, I think he is. I don't think he would be a sub risk, maybe a sub out risk. But I think there's a lot more problems in Adelaide that other people will probably get subbed. So Sid Draper, keep an eye on him. I think he will be best 22. And if he gets midfield, that's going to be great with his tackling pressure. But if he gets halfback, he's composed, he can kick. So he should score no matter where he plays. Next one is Dan Curtin, 158K forward. He's bulked up. Hopefully he can get over these injuries. They rate him. He's a good defender. It's funny, because he's a forward, but before he got injured and stuff, he was playing forward. I think if he goes back into defense, he could score pretty well and be a good bench option. Only thing is he going to be best 22? There's a lot of names that I've spoken about today that, we're expecting to come in to Adelaide's best 22 from last season. Obviously, some have come out, but they weren't real mainstays, were they? So where does everyone fit in? So does he play that halfback, floating across? Is he a sub risk? Does he start a sub? He can play behind the ball. He can play forward of the ball. He can run through the midfield. Is he like a Mr. Fix-It? Starts as the sub, okay, where a defender down due to injury, Brody Smith's done his calf because he's an old fella. Get him in there. Or, Texas has gone down. We need a big presence up forward. Get Curtin there. Who knows? I think at 158K, he's a great rookie. It's just, is he best 22? So keep an eye. There'll be more preseason news coming. So those are all the Supercoach selections that I think. I've seen some people have Saligo. I just think with all these players, looking to come in and play midfield and rotate through there, I don't really see a spot for him except for the wings. So that will hurt his scoring. Now, let's go through the fixtures and the buys. So basically, I've done the first 6 games. So from round 1 to round 6, I've just done the fixtures because they're going to be really important for cash gen really early. So depending on how their fixtures are, we'll talk about that. So Adelaide only have the 1 bye. They're not playing round 0. And that bye is in round 15. I think that might be the tough bye. I'm unsure. Let me get the photo up because I have everything saved. I just take a whole bunch of photos. That's my fantasy team. So round 15 bye, they share with Hawthorn, the D's, and the Eagles. So it's not too bad of a bye. The Hawks, not a whole bunch of options there that you'd think you would have. The D's, you're looking at just the midfield only of Oliver and Petrarca potentially, and Gorn. And the Eagles, Matt Flynn's flying around, and probably just Harley Reid and the rookies. But by round 15, those rookies should be gone, unless they're averaging ridiculous. So, not a bad buy. The buys have changed, which is good. It's over 5 rounds now, the mid round buy, which is a lot easier than having 6 teams. So let's go through their fixtures before we finish off. So in round 1, Adelaide play the Saints at home. Should be a pretty good fixture. What are the Saints going to do? They're usually pretty good defensively, but can those guys in the midfield, can they get going early? And if the Saints kick poorly, whoever's taking kickouts could score very, very well. In round 2, Adelaide play the Bombers away, traveling against the Bombers, who pretty decent midfield if they're all fit. You got Merritt, Parrish, Setterfield as that defensive guy. You saw Durham and Caldwell last season get going. So that should be a bit of a tougher game. I think they could potentially win that game. I just think Supercoach wise, we're just going to have to see how teams set up. They have the Roos at home in round 3, which should be, you would think, a big booster for Supercoach. I think the Roos do improve, but by how much? The Suns away in round 4. That could be a pretty entertaining game. The Suns midfield were hard to score against last season, so can they back that up? Round 5 is, I believe, that is gather round. So they play the Cats at home, with no real midfield. The Cats, so they should be able to feast there. And in round 6, the Giants at home, which again, tough midfield to come up against. So if you look really, the Giants and the Suns, going off last year, were tough for the midfield. So your Dawson, Pete Lean, and if Rankin and Laird are getting through there, and you could potentially have Draper there. So those are the first 6 rounds. I have taken note of who each team plays twice in the year. So Adelaide plays the Pies twice, who leak Supercoach points. They play the Suns twice, the Hawks twice, the Roos twice, which is a big one, Port twice, tough, and the Eagles twice. So Pies, Suns, Hawks, and Port. So 4 tough teams there. You would think that they play twice, and Roos and Eagles there, I think, would be the teams that they would feast on. So that's all the information I have on Adelaide at the moment. Again, all the preseason news is from December. So that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to record one straight after the Brisbane Lions one. Daily uploads, so it'll be out tomorrow if you're watching this on the Wednesday. So make sure you like, follow, and subscribe on all social media platforms. That being at Breakevens Pod on X, the Breakevens Facebook page, and here on YouTube. Like, follow, and subscribe. Hope you really enjoyed this. 1 down, 66 to go. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, it's bye for now.